Hello YouTube fans, this is TheSkullKlown. I'm here to review, not review. I haven't done like review stuff in a while, mainly because I always give my thoughts and my opinions. It's not really a review, in my opinion. But this is my thoughts and my opinions on Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Now this movie, I've seen this movie twice already, and I fucking love this movie. I sort of saw this movie a long time ago, but I did not. And I feel like, oh, by the way, this is the last episode of the final season of season 20, and I'm going to take a break. I already finished my enlightenment videos that I wanted to put, and right now I'm going to take a break. I'll see you guys next year, to be quite honest with you. I'm going to take the rest of the month off and see you next year. Not if I think of something or I make a short little clip video and something like that to keep you guys hold over or some shit like that. But I might do that in my enlightenment videos. My enlightenment channel also. But anyways, this movie is so freaking good. You have this. You start with these 30-year-old characters playing as teenagers. The good old days. You have these characters that are actually not bad. They're goofy. They're hokey, but that's what they'll make them fun, baby. That's what they're fun. And you kind of like, this movie is literally paying homage to The Blob. If you haven't watched the original Blob, you should. I haven't, so maybe I should too. But I've seen the remake of The Blob, and that is not a bad remake. It's actually one of the better remakes, right next to The Thing. It is funny that The Thing and The Blob remakes became like cult classics, like the original Blob and The Thing also, you know? And then this one's paying homage to The Blob, which it's funny too because The Blob came out the same year as this movie, so it's almost like, So the story is about these characters that are and make out grief, good times, and then they see a freaking meteor just come and they're like, yeah, let's go check it out, and then all of a sudden there's a circus tent in the woods. What would you do if you saw a circus tent in the woods? Would you go? Would you not? But before the teenagers go there, you get this old man, kind of like in the remake of Blob, always checking what the meteor is, even though he's not supposed to check it. Oh, classic, baby, classic. I love it. I just love the classic right there, man. It's so cheesy and classic that you have to pay homage to it. If you don't, man, how are you gonna pay homage to a B-movie classic if you're not gonna, recreate that? Come on. It's B-movie 101. Seriously, if you just want to pay homage to like old school B-movies, So this movie, so it starts out. So obviously the old man in the beginning has like a dog with him and everything like that, and then all of a sudden the dog gets kidnapped by one of the extraterrestrials, and the extraterrestrial looks like a clown. And that shit's awesome. The freaking tent is like a circus tent and everything like that. The spaceship, actually, it looks like a circus tent. And then the dog gets kidnapped by one of the clowns, shooting him with a freaking gun that turns them into cotton candy. But over time, if they stay in that cotton candy and you peel it off, they peel their flesh and shit like that. Almost like that movie. What's that movie? House of Wax. Since the wax stays there for a long period of time, it just peels off. Especially in the remake, they show that in the remake, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Don't worry, I'll get you out still. I'll put it back on." And it's like, oh dude, he's already fucked. He might be still alive, but he's no more. You gotta let him go. Let him rot. At that point, to be quite honest with you, I would want you to do the same thing for me. Let me rot. I'm already gone. Save yourself. Some people would be like, "Okay," and I'd be like, "I was just a figure of speech. Help me." No. So the dog gets fucked up. You don't see what happens to the dog, to be quite honest with you. So I'll say this right now. The dog got eaten. Nah, I'm playing. I think most likely. Because when you put these people in cotton candy, you literally see certain things happen in this movie when they do get them. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to be spoiled with this movie. I'm not going to spoil too much with this movie, but it is fun. Eventually the main characters find the tent, the spaceship. I'm always going to call it a tent because it looks like a tent, even though it's a spaceship. And they go in, and they find a lot of stuff, and then all of a sudden the clowns go after them, and they run, and they shoot popcorn out of them, and that will come back later. And they shot popcorn, and they're like, well, why popcorn? And it's like, it doesn't matter, they're clowns. You know, and I'm just like, yo, I love when the characters can literally point out and shit like that. Yo, and then we get to the sheriff. You have a young rookie that's being an officer and everything like that, but then you get the sheriff that's basically putting him under his wing and everything like that. I like to think of him as a sheriff, even though he's still in the same officer outfit and everything like that. But I'm just gonna call him the sheriff mainly because I think he deserves it. This actor goes balls to the wall. He knows he's in a B movie, but he is the highlight of this movie. When I first saw this movie, I didn't hate the character. I hated him so much because the actor was doing so good for me to hate him. And when I watched it the second time, I was just like, this actor is having fun. I can't hate him anymore. He is the highlight of this movie. You always got to get that old veteran. You know, they did that in Halloween. They got Dr. Pleasance. You know, when they Donald Pleasance, I said Dr. Pleasance. Huh? You see why I did that? Oh, see, it was meant to be Dr. Loomis. So in every B movie, you always got to get that old school classic icon that people can look at and be like, oh my god, this person used to do a lot of movies back then. Oh my god, they were in this movie. This movie's so above them. Like, why would you be here? You know, some people think that, and I thought that too sometimes, you know, in some movies. But they bring something that can never be outmatched, and they still do it to movies to this day. And every time some movie does it, you look at it and you be like, it can't be fucked. How can you take something that's so simple and not fuck it up? I have seen no version of that type of bringing an old person to a B movie, basically, and you have all these young kids basically looking at the older actor and being inspired by the old actor, then moving on from that B movie that they made and doing other things. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but other times it does. And sometimes you just appreciate that and everything like that. You really do. And maybe there is a version out there that does it and it does it terribly, but from what I've seen, I haven't seen none of it at all. And that's not bad. For me not to see that, that's pretty good. It's funny too. Some people think that this is my room. I mean, no, it's not. Literally, this actually used to be my sister's room. And then she switched it to this room. All my old stuff that used to be in that room are in here. So this is not my room at all. Literally, I live somewhere else. And some of my YouTubers know that. My subscribers know that. I don't live here anymore. The fuck? Seriously. Some of this stuff is mine. Obviously, like, that's mine. Even Mickey Mouse is mine. Hell yeah. And all this stuff that although, you know, those boxes are filled with? Those boxes are filled with just in case if the world ends. If there's a power outage. If there's shit's happening. Because if you could not prepare ever since that COVID shit, something's wrong with you. I'm saying that right now. You know, I only say that for the people that want to look in the background of my videos and don't take myself seriously and shit like that. I'm like, I don't take you seriously. Walk off, boo-boo. Walk off. I don't take you seriously. Seriously. If you don't take me seriously, I don't take you seriously. That's just the way it goes. But you can't do that. Oh, but I can. And I will. So going back to this beautiful movie that deserves to be talked about for the rest of time, because Killer Klowns from Outer Space is a masterpiece of a B movie film. It really is. So these killer clowns keep going to neighborhoods and start killing people and everything like that. They even go to I feel like these are literally cartoon clowns. They really are. They're cartoon clowns, and they do so many shit. There's even one part in the movie where they go like to a whole bunch of thugs and everything like that. One clown, and he's like a little tiny. I need to learn these names of these clowns. They do have names. I just haven't learned them right away, obviously. But one of them is like riding a tricycle and stuff like that. And then one of the guys is looking at him, starts laughing, picks up his tricycle and freaking throws it in the ground and breaks it. I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. You know, you're like, damn, man, he didn't even do anything to you. The hell's wrong with y'all? You know, like, he just came here on a tricycle and you just want to pick it up and slam it, and then he's crying. He's like, and I'm over here like, you see what you did? You made him cry. You made him cry. I feel sorry for this little guy. And all of a sudden he bounces, then he bounces back off the screen again like a freaking cartoon character, and he's ready to fucking fight like this, like with gloves and everything like that. Yo, reminds me of the Joker. Have you ever played what is it? Batman Origins, Arkham Origins, actually. That game, man. When you're at the end, and you're about to fight Joker. Joker's like this and shit like that, and then you use the detective thing that says calm and shit like that. Oh, great, nice detail game. Nice detail. I love when video games have details like that. And all of a sudden, you know, he has his boxing gloves moving and everything like that. And the guy's like, all right, fine. Hit me. Pa! Punches him. Head off. Have you ever seen Jason Takes Manhattan? Remember when Jason is fighting that brother? And he's like, your turn. Bam! Head falls off, goes to the trash. Same thing here, man. I was just like, this movie loves to have fun and loves to put a lot of references. I think this one came out first before Jason Lives, right? Hold on, maybe I should search that up. But that, not Jason Lives, Jason Takes Manhattan. So that shit is hilarious. That's one of the highlights of the movie. Another highlight too is, again, when they're going to people and they capturing them, and they're capturing them in cotton candy, and they open the door. Well, a woman opens the door because the clowns knocked, and then a pizza box opens, and it's one of those clowns that had the tricycle and shoots the gun, cotton candy gun, and the girl gets into a cotton candy cocoon and shit like that. So that's another highlight, in my opinion. And something very disturbing in this movie, when the clown's going like this to the little girl, and the little girl's like, literally, excuse that, that's my niece. Sorry, my mom is babysitting my niece, and I'm drinking with her. I'm her drinking buddy. Alright. Well, where's the background with that? I don't want to tell you that, motherfucker. That's family shit, to be honest with you. If my mom had a family member that was a drinking buddy, and they can't be a drinking buddy anymore, let me be that drinking buddy. Is that bad? Or maybe you just don't love your family too much. Maybe you just don't care about your family or relatives as I do. Well, I feel sorry for you. Anyways. Not really, though. That's your fault. But, this movie makes me laugh. Mainly because this part in the movie, when the clown's literally going like this to the little girl, and the little girl's just looking at him like this, I'm all like, stranger danger, run. This movie is not really. I think you can show this movie to kids, because I don't think this movie is rated at all. I don't think this movie is rated at all. I think it's PG-13. Yeah, I think it is PG-13. Okay, no. Yeah. No. Jason Manhattan came out after this. Alright, so look at that. Jason Manhattan paid homage to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Makes sense, to be quite honest with you. Because you'd be surprised how many 1989 movies paid homage to other movies back in the day, during the 80s. It's kind of funny that they did that, to be quite honest with you. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space, let's see. They already have it here. But that part, man. That part when the little girl is literally about to go to the clown, and then the clown has like a hammer in the back of his head and going, in the back of his hand, and he's going like this, and the camera shows a hammer and shit like that, a cartoon hammer. I'm over here like, I want to see that. I want to see him hit that little girl with that hammer, to be quite honest with you. Might sound fucked up, but I want to see that shit. But it doesn't happen. The mom comes to the rescue. Give it to mothers to be the superheroes in this show. In this movie, I mean. But what was I gonna look at with this movie? Well, I know it came out. Okay, it is PG-13. Okay, yeah, this movie is PG-13. I was trying to check if it was rated R. But yeah, this movie is a PG-13 movie. And for a PG-13 movie, it's pretty fucking violent and dark, in my opinion. Jeez, it reminds me of a Nintendo game. An old school classic Nintendo game on the original Game Boy. Oh, classic. If you haven't played those games, if you haven't, then you will never know how fucked up and dark some of those games can be. Seriously. They don't even have to show blood. It's just showing something that you'd be like, oh God, why? You didn't have to do that. This is a kid's system, isn't it? It's mostly characters either killing themselves or they're killing something else that looks brutal, and you're like, oh god, why are they animated like that? It's like, oh damn, never change classic Game Boy, never change, man. Seriously, it just shows that back in the 90s and the 80s, we just didn't give a shit, and I love it. I fucking love it. So this movie, it continues on when the main characters and the officer join up, mainly because the officer used to be in a relationship with the main heroine in this movie, which is, yo, I want to say this right now. The main heroine, she's adorable. I think she's cute and shit like that. But I want to say this right now. By the end of the movie, is she with this officer, or she's still with her boyfriend? Because they're doing that whole thing of will she, won't they, or will they be with her, or won't they be with her? At this point, just have a fucking threesome at this point. I don't give a fuck. You guys all know each other. You all, both of you guys fucked her anyways. So, I'm just I'm over here if you're gonna go all out, then do it with these characters. Sorry, I'm moving the freaking laptop because I have my knee on my laptop here. Hold on, let me move this here. But there's no reason something like that should happen, man. There's no... I started laughing when I was thinking about it. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, and that's fine. But holy shit, that shit's fucking hilarious. That is one of the... when you think about it, it's one of the highlights of the whole movie, in my opinion, when you think about that shit. You always hear what the hell's wrong with y'all? Are you gonna do it or you not? Who are you with, woman? Who are you gonna choose? Don't put the pressure on me. Oh, bitch, you bought this to yourself. I know some people are gonna be like, damn, man, that's kind of harsh. Well, the men bought that shit to themselves too. That's their fault. The men are responsible as well. So, and let's see, the spaceship, when they go inside the spaceship inside this movie, it's so beautiful. You could tell the backgrounds were probably matte paintings and all that. But if they weren't, solid. But to me, I think they were. And that's not a bad thing. Are you kidding me? Those type of styles back in the day were beautiful. In some movies, they don't even do that anymore. Because they want to CGI everything. And I'm over here guys, look at these old classic 80s and 90s movies. They literally have a glass and you just paint on it and you put it in the background. How is that so hard? Oh, but you're gonna fucking CGI the whole shit. Takes you months to do. Which, I'm not saying what originally you did back then doesn't take months, but at least you're still being creative and you're there. And why not have multiple people help you? It's a big, giant glass painting anyway, so might as well have people help you with it. Especially if they're talented like you. Come on. There's a reason why they hire people. There's a reason why there's jobs like that, you know? So, when you have companies that don't do that type of stuff, people can lose jobs like that. It's so sad. It is. It's so fucking sad. Not to say people can't do it anymore. They could. I'm just looking at something here. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? Sorry. Because I'm seeing something here. And I'm like, what the hell? But, that's just me. Moving on. This movie has a pretty good soundtrack, to be quite honest with you. When it opens... Yo, I want to get the soundtrack to this movie. It's actually not bad. It really is. It complements everything for the whole movie, and I love it. I fucking love it. And eventually the characters do find out that the clowns are kind of eating people, so there is that. And they do figure out how to take out the clowns too. There's this one part where the officer meets one of the clowns, right? The sheriff that I talked about earlier. And through the whole movie, everyone's calling killer clowns, killer clowns, killer clowns. And he's over here like, yeah, okay, fuck all of you. I'm over here the first time I saw this movie, I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But watching it again, I'm all like, I wouldn't have had it any other way. That's how I felt, man. You gotta love second viewings. You gotta love when you rewatch these movies again and have a refresh mind, and you just laugh at stuff like this, man. And it puts you more of an enjoyment of the movie, you know. So the movie is one of the best B movies of all time, in my opinion, just because of shit like that, you know.
And the actors, obviously, they don't take it too seriously, but they take it seriously enough to make it kind of comedic, but also fun at the same time. So, and then there's one part too where one of the clowns does a shadow puppet shit. Oh my! Again, highlight after highlight after highlight. I cannot praise this movie enough with their highlights. That's all this movie should have been called. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the highlight. No, no, Killer Clowns highlight. There, that's it. There's your new title. There's your new title for this movie. So I would literally call it that because that's what this movie is. A highlight upon top of highlight upon top of highlight. And eventually the three main characters go into the ship, basically. And they try to take the clowns out. And obviously there's too much clowns and everything like that. There's clowns everywhere surrounding them and everything like that. But before I get to that more, there's this scene when, remember when they shot the popcorn at them and stuff like that? And the guy took some off and the girl still had some on her, but then she went home, took her shirt off, changed her clothes and she took a shower. And then all of a sudden, these popcorns move. Mainly because they're larvae. They're larvae, meaning that that's their first form. That's the clown's first form. Popcorn. Even though they do show female clowns with tits in this movie, so I'm over here like, is that two-way to reproduce, or they figure out a way how to reproduce in another way? Because it looks like they probably can reproduce regularly anyways. To be quite honest with you, if they had female clowns there, you know? So, maybe since they just have two female clowns, they can't really repopulate as much? I don't know how that works. I'm just guessing at that point. The movie's not giving me nothing with that, so I can't really say anything with that, you know? I'm trying to pick at straws at this point. Or little thin hairs are literally nothing. So... After all of that sequence happens and everything like that, you also get these other two characters that play a comedic role, and they're fun. They're the highlight of the movie too. I did have fun with those comedic duos, to be quite honest with you. The only thing I don't like is when they bring them back from the dead. I mean, this movie came out in '88, so I am probably going to spoil a lot of it. But this movie does things by the end that I'm just like, what are you doing? You could have been the perfect fine bow of just awesomeness. But you decided to do things mainly because the test audience was just like, why you had to do that to those characters? No. Those characters died. Plain and simple. Are you kidding me? You freaking have all the clowns leave, basically, because they listen to the clown god, makes sense. And then you have Clownzilla coming down as a marionette, and then starts getting the fucking characters. Even one of the main characters is like, guys, get off the ice cream truck. No, man, we're still getting this out. I'm like, what the... I can't with this movie. I can't. And then all of a sudden, fucking Clownzilla grabs it and throws that shit. And all he hears is the guys, ah, and then explodes in there. And I'm like, they're dead. They died. And so the other two characters have to leave, and the officer, that's, part of the group, not the sheriff, because he's at the moment, he has a hand up his ass. There, I'll say that right now. I'm not going to say what happens to him. Because what happens to him is actually pretty fucked up, to be quite honest with you. Yes, he's a dick in the movie and everything like that, but what happens to him? Oh, man. You kind of tell yourself that, damn, these people are here to kill people. I almost forgot about that. But the killing's so comedic. It's like, I know. Why? So, the officer by the end is fighting, Clownzilla. And he's trying to shoot him in the nose because that's their weakness. The nose is their weakness. Who knew? It is cool that they show that even if you shoot them even in the head or even here in the chest area, they won't die. It literally needs to be on the nose. So they die. On the nose. It does kind of, it looks funny when they do die and they spin around. They look like they're turning into crystals and then eventually just explode. That's what it looks like for me. I could be wrong. Maybe that spinning thing is just paying homage to, you know, Tasmanian Devil. I mean, it makes sense. These guys are acting cartoonish anyways. Might as well pay homage to Looney Tunes. For crying out loud, there's one scene when the main heroine is trying to get out of the house because clowns are coming everywhere. She tries to open the door, and the clowns are literally looking up at her, and they're holding her trampoline like, "Are you coming down?" So, yo, I'm telling you, man, these are cartoon clowns. Plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. So, so you get that happening. So, so Clownzilla basically is destroyed by something I won't spoil how he dies. And then all of a sudden, you know, the main heroine and the guy that we first saw in the beginning of the movie, they're like, "Oh my god, you know, he's gone," and shit like that. And then all of a sudden, a clown call comes and, which, okay, that probably could tell me that, hey, if the clowns were in there, well, there was a lot of clowns in there, so they did explode. They did die in there. Like, the spaceship did blow up. So there is that. And none of them didn't fit in the car, or decided to go in the car, mainly because when you find out later, you find out more later on when the scene plays out that clown vehicle was in the ice cream truck. And that's how those two Beavis and Butthead characters literally come out of that clown vehicle with kissy faces, and because, you know, they made out with the women clowns and freaking, what was it, pie stuff, I think, or in tar, from what I can remember. So, oh no, it was ice cream. So when I saw that, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, when I saw the officer come out of that clown car, I was just like, okay, I let it slide. That's fine. I will call bull. I let it slide. The movie's over. Then you see these two motherfuckers, and I'm like, no. I'm not saying it took me out of the movie, but it was so funny to the point that I was just like, end this movie. End it now. Because apparently there's no one else to say anymore. And then all of a sudden they're like, is it over? And then all of a sudden, freaking pies in their face, because earlier when there was an officer guarding the carnival, the clowns come in that little tiny car that I mentioned earlier, and they start throwing pies at the guy, and he dies from acid. And then they put like a little cherry on top of one of the clowns. That's cute. Yeah, when you really think about the ending to this movie, it's pretty depressing when you think about it. Well, a sad ending, mainly because the main characters died. Most people might be like, what are you talking about? They threw acid pies at them. What do you want me to think they did? What do you want me to think the characters happened to them after that? They died. They died. And the fact that they were talking about making a sequel to this movie, which I'm all for, and the actors were saying that they would love to come back, I'm all like, didn't you die? Didn't you all die? I get it. Kill the characters off as a funny in the first one, but then bring them back like nothing happened. Yeah. It's not like it's happened. It's not like it hasn't happened before. So, overall, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, in my opinion, is one of the best movies that I have ever seen from the 80s. In my opinion. I cannot believe it took me this long to fucking watch this movie, but I did. And I fucking loved it. I enjoyed the shit out of it, especially the second time around, and I would definitely buy the DVD. If you don't have the movie to Killer Klowns from Outer Space, you should get it. I know some people don't want to collect physical media anymore because everything's digital. No, this is worth owing physically. All right, there's still some movies out there that are still worth getting physically before you just decide to be like, all right, I'm done. You know, there's like probably like 3 or 4 movies that I want before I'm done getting physical shit because I'm be good for everything else. You know, so except for like the new stuff that's coming out, like the Godzilla X Kong. That's a new movie that I would like to grab. And then the new Aquaman movie, I would love to grab that. I like the trailer to the new Aquaman movie, to be quite honest with you. I like to grab that DVD whenever it does come out on DVD. If it ever happens. If it ever happens. So, yeah, that's it. That's really it. Killer Klowns from Outer Space is one of... it's a good movie. It's a fun B-movie. It's a fun ride. If anyone that is afraid of clowns, like my mother is, you can watch it with her. You can watch it with them. I watched it with her. She didn't want to watch it, but I forced her to watch it, and she was fine with it. So, that's really it. That's really it, guys. If you haven't watched Killer Klowns from Outer Space, you should. You really should. It's a fun movie. The acting is, the acting is actually pretty fun. And what the clowns do, the clowns are obviously the highlight of this whole movie, as they should. Because if they weren't, they'd be boring, and you wouldn't even probably care as much as the characters are that much, to be quite honest with you, probably. But at least you still got that officer that is just an asshole, and he is one of the highlights. So if the Killer Klowns aspect did not work at all, then that officer would have more than made up for it, even though something does happen to him, and you'd be like, damn. So I'm stuck with these motherfuckers, But it's not like that. It's not like that. And that's a good thing. And I literally salute this movie. And this movie literally, in my opinion, despite some of the flaws I said, gets literally a 9 out of 10. I am dead serious. Like I said, might have some flaws. I might have some flaws with it. Mainly because some of the stuff that I pointed out by the end. It's not the hugest flaw. I'm not going to lose sleep over it or anything like that. I just thought it was funny to the point that I was just like, you didn't have to do that, man. You didn't have to do that. For crying out loud, good movies do that, and people just shit on it just because they'd be like, oh, no, the ending was fucking shit, So it always depends how you go out in a movie. It always does. So that's why when I saw the ending to this movie, I was just like, oh, I hope they should have been very careful with that ending. But at least they saved it by the end with the whole pies shit and everything like that, so... Didn't really mind it. In my opinion, that's how I felt when I was watching by the end of this movie. When stupid shit was happening with the freaking clown car when it came out. I was just like, come on, guys. I don't know. I just had to point that out because that shit bothered me a bit to the point that I was just like, they're dead. Leave them dead. Fuck, guys. Seriously. Because to be honest, when what was it? When Clownzilla grabs the ice cream truck and he throws it and that thing blows up inside of them inside, I was just like, oh, damn. That's fucked up, man. I wish they lived, but damn, I get it. I know it's still a horror movie. Some people have to perish and shit like that. But then they brought it back. Then they took that out. I mean, took that out anyway. They took it away, and it's almost like, then why'd you do it to begin with? If you were gonna take it away anyways, why would you put it? And I get it, the test screenings and all that. I would have been like, fuck the test screenings. We're living it in. Seriously. We're living it in. This is like it's like the freaking Little Shop of Horrors fiasco. Basically. Even though as a kid I did like the original, I like the theatrical ending, but the original director ending to Little Shop of Horrors is better. It is. And it's literally the same thing as the original Little Shop of Horrors, the black and white version, if you haven't seen that one, which I did have. I remember watching it on YouTube when YouTube was in its infant stage, and I had fun with that movie. So maybe I should do that one day. But only talk about that movie one day alongside with the remake, which is a musical. So what do you guys think about Killer Klowns from Outer Space? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you thought it was kind of Did you thought it was not worth it or something like that? And if you thought though, and if you did like it and you did thought it was well deserved, then would you like to see a sequel? I know I would. And technically they kind of made a sequel already that's based off a video game, but I think the video game is basically doing Deadlight Friendly. Doing that other video game shit when you play as one character, and then you play some of the villains, and you go hunt each other or escape. Can we stop doing those? Can we stop doing those? Because they're not fun anymore, man. At first it was cool, but then you did it to all these whole icons to the point that I'm just like, guys, they could have had their own game and their whole game style and everything, but you decided to not do that. Now we probably can never get that because you decided to do this shit. That's how I feel, man. You know how many Halloween games, Friday the 13th games. The thing is, Friday the 13th, the game, is fine on its own. But when you keep doing that of Friday the 13th with Leatherface, with Ghostface and Michael Myers, and then Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm not saying it is. I haven't seen that with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I haven't even watched the clips, but maybe it is. And if it is, I'm just like, then what's the point? What's the point? Stop doing this shit. Stop doing this shit. It gets boring to the point that no one doesn't want to play something like that. Mainly because it's like, if Jason can do it, okay, fine, let him do it. But if I'm playing a Freddy game and it's the same thing like that, I'm going to be upset. It shouldn't be that way. It should never be that way. Good God. That's just me, man. And if they did that to Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, I'm all like, what the fuck's wrong with you? What you mean to tell me you couldn't make a big giant neighborhood, you know, maybe a little small town neighborhood that you maybe could choose either to play the clowns or the characters or some shit like that, and then you can have like literally a story depending what character you pick? You know, instead of just, oh, let's just play because it's online and all that shit. Oh, come on. That's not fun. That's not fun. It's not fun. It would never be fun. Sorry, this is an old gamer talking. To me, that's just not fun. I need story. I need structure. I need a game to tell me to. I need a game to literally tell me to just go, but not tell me where to go. Basically, do what the fuck you want. Basically, how come it could be like a GTA type of game? What is it? Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know how awesome that would have been? It doesn't have to be exactly like Grand Theft Auto, but has that Grand Theft Auto quality and esque. I'm not saying it's just rob cars with the clowns and shit like that. They have their own vehicles. It's a fake. It's literally a Wonder Woman vehicle, meaning it's see-through. You can't see shit. I'm still waiting for that Wonder Woman vehicle in the live-action version. We never did got that, did we? I'll see you guys later. Be safe. And yeah, tell me what you guys think about this movie, man.